Oh, well, look here. We have a very, very special show tonight. We are talking about A through G, and we're talking about it in Oakland. And we have a presentation that we want to get to first. But before I get to that, I want to make sure each person introduces themselves. I'm going to start with you, Vanessa. Um, why don't you tell the people who you are and why you are with us?
Sure, thank you. My name is Vanessa Magali Odin, and I'm the proud parent of five wonderful children.
Did you say five? Like one, two, three, four, five? See, she froze too because five is a lot. You know what I mean? She was like, I got a lot of babies. So whenever Vanessa comes back, we'll have her finish because she probably had to tend to something. Um, Stephanie, why don't you let us know who you are?
Okay, hello everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Stephanie Velasquez, and I'm a junior at Oakland High School.
Awesome. And Miss Mia, how are you doing?
I'm good. So my name is Mia Riley. I have seven children, six boys and one girl. Seven. Six boys and one girl.
That is what's up. That is a lot of babies. Mary Rose, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
All right. So, go ahead. Tell them where you're from. Tell them where you are. I'm very proud of you because you've had you've changed schools for a very good reason. Where are you now?
I am now at SFSU, and I'm in actually business.
You know, I did grad school and my doctorate there, right? You know, I went there twice, right? So I'm very, very happy. My name is Dr. Charles Cole III. I'm the founder and executive director of Energy Converters, and I'm one of the founding partners of Families in Action for Quality Education. And one of the things we wanted to do tonight was talk to you about A through G because it's something that's really serious in California and especially in Oakland. And before we get into this conversation, I'm going to do a quick just presentation so people know what we're talking about. But the other thing that I want to make sure that I do first is I want to ask you all to help us. If you are watching and listening, please share this stream. Share it so we can get it out to as many people because this is not an issue that's new. This is something that I dealt with when I was a student, and we still haven't fixed it, and it's fixable. And we have gotten Miss Odom back. Welcome back.
Thank you so much.
The computer couldn't handle when you said how many babies you had. So
I know.
So just tell the people where your babies go to school and what brought you to FIA.
Yes, I'm proudly a parent at Ames. So my children attend. I have five children that go there. I love this work, and it's a passion for mine because my children love their school. And I really believe that families have such a great opportunity to share their voice and to have choice on where their children should go to school. My children are Black and Latino, and I'm here representando la comunidad de Latinos and African American families. So I'm glad to be here and to talk about what we're going to be talking about tonight. Thank you for inviting me.
So what we're going to do is I'm going to do a quick presentation, about 12 minutes, okay? Just so people know what we're talking about and understand the severity of it. And then we're going to break that down. And I got a few questions for you. Is that cool?
Great.
All right. So let's do it this way because I want us to really understand exactly what's going on. So I'm going to do this quickly. People that's listening, once you share the stream, let us know in the comments that you shared it. I will give you a shout out, but we need your help to make sure that this message is getting where it needs to go. So first off, A through G is basically the sequence of high school courses that you need to complete with a C or better to be minimally eligible for admission to one of the largest public university systems in the country. All right. Here's the other thing. If you have a 3.0 and you're A through G eligible, you are promised a spot. Okay. So if you out here working and doing what you need to do, we've made sure that you got a spot. And the reason why this is an important thing to talk about is because so many kids think that they're on track and they're not. Here are the basic requirements that a lot of people know and that they have. You can look this up. I just wanted to add it quickly so people get an understanding of it. But here's the gap, right? Because we have people that are graduating and they think that they have that they are ready and they're eligible. So only out of all the Black seniors in 2018 and 19, only 32% in OUSD were eligible for A through G, and only and 86, not only 86% is a lot, but 86% of charter kids were eligible. Here's the thing. So few Black kids are in charter schools compared to our traditional schools, right? That number is really, really small for Black kids. It's under 50% or around that number when you add everything together. For Latinx students, 53% of Latinx students in OUSD graduate eligible for A through G, while 82% of the charter Latinx students are eligible. I want to actually take a closer look at this, and we'll come back to this and go a little bit more in depth. I want to try to blow it up because here's an actual breakdown of those numbers from that year. And when you look, the blue schools are charter schools. I mean, the blue schools are charter schools. The yellow schools are traditional OUSD schools, and the orange schools are like alternative or independent study schools. And we'll make all this available for folks afterwards as well. But I'll give you an example because it's hard to see, right? So let's look at, who is this? Castlemont had 153 Latinx seniors in 2018-19. 68 graduated. That's 44%. Out of that, 24 of those students were graduated eligible for A through G. Out of all those Latino students, that's 16%. That's 16% of Latinx students that were eligible during that time. You understand? So when we look at Tech, let's look at Tech. Tech is a school that's really sought after. It's a great school. A lot of my friends went to Tech. They had 58 Latinx seniors in 2018, 19. 51 of them graduated, 88%. That's really good. Out of that 51, only 31% of them, that's 53%, were actually eligible for these universities that we got. And Stephanie, are you in college yet?
No, I'm not. I'm still in high school.
Okay. So
yeah,
here's the numbers for Black kids. It's even more abysmal, right? When you look at Castlemont had 59 Black seniors that year. 47 graduated, 11 students were eligible on the A through G scale. I need everybody that's listening, I need you to share this. I need you to get this out there. And I want to know how you feel about these numbers. These are not numbers that we made up. There is a source for this. You can go to the California Department of Education where all these numbers live. All right. So we're gonna, when I get finished with this part, we're gonna basically, have a conversation about it. But I really want you all to kind of sit with these numbers. Whereas schools that some people are trying to close down, Envision had 24 Black seniors, 21 graduated, all 21 graduated having A through G done. Bay Tech has a small cohort as well, 16 students, but 15 graduated, and all 15 had A through G completed. Let's look at one of the schools that's most sought after. Skyline had 126 Black seniors, 107 graduated at 85%. Out of 126, only 50 of those kids graduated having been prepared. That's 40%. Did y'all know that these numbers were like this? You know why a lot of people don't know? A lot of people don't know that these numbers are like this because we only talk about the graduation rate number. But that's us giving you, not telling you the full story. All right. That's us kind of covering our own tracks, and it's not okay. So we want to try to fix this on a systemic level. So to fix this on a systemic level, the reason why this is happening so often is because when OUSD and the A through G system said, okay, let's make sure that we have the same requirements. The thing is, in California, a D is passing. For college admissions, a D is not passing. So there are students that have Ds in A through G courses and don't know that they're not eligible. And so when we talk about dumping the D, what we're saying is not to make things easier for anybody. We're not saying to lower the bar. What we're saying is we should be alerting parents earlier. We should be making it possible for kids to make this up. We should be sounding the alarm when a kid gets a D in English or they get a D in math or one of these significant classes. So we're trying to push our district and our charter leaders to help us dump the D. And there's a bunch of charters that's already did it. There are some traditional schools that's done it already. So CCPA doesn't have this issue because they counsel kids when they have Ds to make sure that they don't finish the semester with a D. So there are things that we can do. So that's what we can do on a systemic level. But here's the thing. Since nobody's coming to save us and systems don't change overnight, I'm 37 years old. This was an issue when I was in school. You understand? We have to make sure that we have our own agency and we are prepared to make sure that our kids don't fall behind, because apparently ain't nobody checking for them. Ain't nobody here coming to save your babies, right? So what that means is you got to familiarize yourself with the A through G regulations, right? You can just Google UC doorways. It comes right up. You need to chart a path for your kid. Show up in that counselor's office or that principal's office if you're a parent or if you're a student. I managed my own A through G as a student. I did that. You know what I'm saying? And compare all the classes that your kids get with the A through G requirements on the internet. Every school has to register to be to actually be like a functioning high school in California. So your transcript should match up with A through G requirements. And here's a personal story about it. One of my best friends, I was a year ahead of him. He was up at Cal State Hayward with me every week of his senior year. He loved it. And he wanted to come. He got his grades up, graduated with like a 3.0 or something, tried to finish the application and wasn't A through G eligible. He ended up going to the Army, doing 2 tours in Iraq and 1 in Afghanistan. Because remember, I graduated in 2001. He graduated in 2002. The towers got knocked down in 2001. So one of my best friends had to go fight in an actual war. By the grace of God, he made it back. But how many kids thought that they were eligible and weren't, right? So again, there's systemic issues, but then there's also issues. There's also ways that we have to like take that control and that power back. You understand what I'm saying? So I wanted to make sure that we were having this conversation with parents and students, because you need to be pushing your system to fix the D dilemma, early detection on transcripts and report cards. And here's the thing. I've done this for hundreds of kids in the course of a day before. It's not that hard for a kid to give me a printed out transcript and I just go through it and kind of let them know where they are. And then also, we have to hold our leaders accountable, our charter leaders, our superintendents, the state, city, and the county, that when they start bragging on graduation rates rising, don't leave out the rest. Ask the next question. Well, how many of those babies are actually eligible for one of the largest university systems in the country? So I just wanted to make sure that we actually had that conversation, because, you know, it's something that's, like I said, really near and dear to me. And before I get, you know, this isn't a new issue. This is an issue that my students brought up in energy converters, and I'm very happy that they did, you know, but this is something that was plaguing me starting in middle school. Because if you have middle school kids, you can actually have your kids, if they're doing algebra and geometry in middle school, guess what? That counts towards A through G. You need, you know, if you're trying to get 3 years of math, you can knock out sometimes 2 years in middle school. I had friends that did it. So I'm going to stop because I'm ranting. You know what I mean? I want to make sure that I get reactions from you all. So I'm going to start with our parents first, Stephanie. Is that okay? Because for the mothers right here that have 12 kids in between them, let me know. Let's start with you, Mia. How do you feel just about hearing that?
I've just been waiting to speak. I'm going to speak my truth feelings. When you were talking about how, like the kids that, you know, how many kids had graduated, my kids went to Casamont. My kids went, and I had to be that parent to go up there to make sure my kids got their education and stuff. And yes, I'm speaking. Casamont teachers that I heard come from a teacher's mouth is like, basically, they don't care. These kids are responsible for their education. Yes, they're responsible for their education, but it's your job to help these students. Teachers at Casamont was not helping some students. I got an invite to Casamont to get heard, wanted me to come talk to parents and stuff. And I tried it. It didn't work. So that's my thing. I keep pushing and I keep trying, but the way I feel about it, I'm not going to keep supporting somewhere where, I'm not getting the support, and, nobody's with me, to get stuff done. So, yeah, I was a parent that had to keep going to Casamont. Teachers were calling me last minute at my kids' ending marking period. Oh, your child hasn't done nothing since before Christmas break, and it was January. No, you don't. You don't do that. Not to my kid, not to anybody's kid. And that's how I feel about it. And yes, like you said, Charles, they need parents like us to push and see what we could do to support these students that need to graduate and get their education.
Well, Mia, did you stay at that? Did you stay at that school? What did you do? How did you take power back?
I let them stay, but I got some support.
Mm-hmm.
See, I spoke for mine, and I got what I needed from my kids. And I was the parent, like I said, I was a parent that went up there, and I kept going up there, and I had to let the teachers know, what do you ask our emails and phone numbers for if you're not going to use it? It only takes you 5 minutes to send a text in the email. So I was highly upset about that. Like, this how you feel about all these kids? Like, if they're not in here to learn in class, and then why should I worry about it?
Mm-hmm.
So you're supposed to call the parents. That's what you're supposed to do. So the parents could help support you to get, the student to stay in class and get their education. That's how I feel about it. I've been a parent volunteer for over 18, 19 years. So, that's how I feel about it. You support as much as you can, and you only could do so much. But like I said, I was, even at Elmhurst, I was up at Elmhurst too. Like I said, I was really serious about my kids' education, and it just wasn't my kids, because I supported, students at Elmhurst and at Cox. And then I only did for my kids at Casamont. Only for my kids I did.
Well, Mia, we're going to come back to you. I appreciate that answer. And if folks are listening, if folks out there are listening, again, this is why we do this with parents and students, right? If this is bothering you, as it should, I need you to share it. And I need you to share it with a comment and urge of people to watch this and listen to this, because so many people don't know. And this ain't something that's 5 years old. This ain't something you can blame on charter schools. This is an issue long before. When I was a student in middle school, charter schools were not a prevalent thing. They might have been a few around, but this is what we were going through in our traditional schools. Miss Oden, with your 5 babies, tell me how you feel about these numbers.
Thank you so much for sharing the data, because I feel that as parents, especially educators and administrators, when we see the data right in front of us, then we can actually know what the numbers are and share the information. As parents, we send our children to school, and we expect them, if they're graduating, that they'll be able to get into a good college. That's a goal for a lot of families. But the question therein lies is, are they meeting the A to G standards? And when parents don't know the information, they are left in the dark. So what I encourage, and I empower every parent that's watching, or even if you're not a parent, but you have that passion, right? Your heart is moved by what you're seeing, and knowing that generations are affected by what's happening here, and generations have been affected. So one of the things that holds dear to my heart is sharing the information, and to be an advocate, an ambassador in your own circle of influence. So taking the information that you can start right now by being an advocate, sharing the stream, getting involved and partnering with your child's school, going to the meetings, asking the right questions. And we learned today that some of those right questions are, you have the great graduation rates, but how many of your students, especially Black and Brown students, are meeting the A to G standards when they graduate? Our children deserve the very best. And what we want for our children Everyone who's listening, I want you to take this with you today. What we want for our children, we should want for all children. So go out there and sharing your voice, calling up someone. Let's say perhaps you're not able to vote, right? You can go and you can share the information. You can help share the link for people to register to vote, to fill out the census, which helps our schools and our communities and our children get the resources they need. And also to hold people accountable. For example, my children go to a school that not only meets the A to G standards, but exceeds the A to G standards. It's something that I'm so proud of being a part of. But what I have for my children, I want it for every child. And I want you to want that for every child, for them to have a future, because we know that with education, it's one of the ways to break the cycle of poverty. Let's do it for our children and not use any excuse. But this year, 2020, great vision to make a stand today, unify with our voices, and to make a long-lasting difference.
That's what's up, man. We are joined with another student. How you doing, Tayshawn? Before I get to Stephanie, because you're going to be the first to answer the question, Tayshawn, just tell us how old you are and what school you go to, good brother.
I am 18 years old, and I go to CSU East Bay as of right now.
Awesome. Where'd you graduate from?
I graduated from LPS Oakland.
Awesome, man. So we're going to get you in a second. Stephanie, I wanted to ask you, I see it's kind of freezing or whatnot, but we just going to keep going, okay? Can you still hear me? Cool. So, Stephanie, what was your reaction to the presentation?
Honestly, it's really sad. I think that it's really sad how a lot of students are unaware that they need to meet these A through G requirements in order to get to college. I know that a lot of public schools talk about getting their students to college and making sure that their students graduate, but a lot of these students, a lot of my friends who go to public schools aren't aware that they need to meet these A through G requirements. So it makes me really sad that not all of us, like Ms. Odin was saying, not all of us as students are getting that information that we need that is so important to us in order to get to college. So I think it's really sad. And I am in complete agreement with Ms. Odin about advocating and promoting and pushing so that every student has access to this information and is able to get to college and not just graduate, so that the percentages of students getting into college is higher for all schools and for all students. That's all.
Cool. I appreciate that. Stephen, thank you so much. Tayshawn, what are your thoughts, man? I know you came in a little late, but what are your thoughts on these numbers?
Well, I feel like honestly they could be better. They could use quite a bit of improvement. And I feel like it has a lot to do with like the teachers who don't really like want to put forth much effort to really like teach or inform. Like they're just kind of there to, do their job and like get paid by the end of every month, I'm guessing. And yeah, I don't think it's really like benefiting any students like at the moment.
Right now, but we're gonna keep the show going, and it just happened. So we're gonna keep this conversation going. But parents, I wanted to ask you all, because y'all can still hear me, right? As long as you can hear me, it's fine. They ain't gotta see me. Boom, there goes a picture right there. I wanted to ask you as a parent, because you all are dealing with this just on a different level. You know what I mean? And I want to know from you all, what measures are you taking to make sure that your kids don't fall behind or become one of these statistics? So Vanessa, let's start with you this time.
That's a great question. And one of the things that I want to say is that having been an educator, I'm a teacher as well, and a parent. So what I want to say is that we're all in this together. it's going to take all of us to make the change, right? So myself as a parent, partnering with my teachers, partnering with administrators, partnering with staff, and getting, I like this quote that says, getting the right people in the right seats on the bus, right? We're trying to get everybody together to make change. I want to share a story really quickly because I want every parent maybe who's watching and saying, how could I make a change? Maybe I don't have all the information, but my great grandmother could not read or write. She did not have the opportunity to go to school. My grandmother had a fourth grade education. And when she came to New York City in the 50s, my father was placed in a specialized class where he was deemed not being able to learn because he had a congenital heart defect, as well as being an Afrodescendiente. So he was Black Latino and an English language learner. My grandmother fought hard to advocate for him to get to a better school, and he first was rejected because of his race. After advocating again and again, he was accepted to a different school and began to excel in math, and then actually graduated and became an engineer, my uncle an architect, and my aunt a teacher. What I want to say by sharing this story is, si se puede, no matter who you are as a parent, all of our children deserve the very best education. Getting out there and partnering with your school, finding out what the requirements are. That's what I'm doing. And actually, again, what I was saying is I'm very pleased at where my daughter goes because they're exceeding the A to G standards and have won several awards for closing the achievement gap and for high proficiency with African American and Latinx students. That being said, what I want for my children, I want for all children. So getting out there, sharing your voice, making resources accessible in different languages so that people can get the information, and showing up, getting people to vote, getting people to attend meetings. And that's what I'm doing, and I'll continue to do, and advocate for children, all children, to get a great education, no matter their demographic, no matter their zip code, especially our traditionally underserviced populations and communities, Black and brown children. We can make a change. We can get together and have lasting legacy for our children.
That's what's up. I love when somebody come prepared. She was ready. She said, let me tell you a story. Just so you understand.
I'm passionate.
I love it. Miss Mia, same question to you. What measures are you taking to make sure your kids stay on track for A through G, especially in light of this information?
Actually, I don't know what to say now because Vanessa said it. She said it all. Like she said, we need to get parents, involved, support these parents. We need to help each other. That's how I guess that's how I should put it. We need to help each other. How can we help these students to get, to get it? Like I'm a parent leader for Cox Academy, and I've been doing it. And like I said, I keep pushing. I'm trying and I keep pushing, and I'm going to keep pushing. So we get support these students, for them to reach their goal and get their education. So that's all I'm going to say for now. I'm going to keep doing what I got to do and do what I can.
It sounds like you've been doing it. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate that. We're going to go to the students real quick and give two of them. So, what advice do you all have for students just to keep themselves on track? Stephanie, let's start with you.
Well, my advice for all students is no matter what age you are, begin to get involved at your school and advocate for all of the students in your school. Make sure that all of you guys are getting the tools that you need in order to succeed in life. And I feel like as a student, we look up to our teachers to help us out. But if our teachers aren't there to tell us what we need to do in order to be successful, then I feel like we should have our own backs. So I feel like we should advocate for things like this, like dropping the D in our grades. Like if that isn't going to help us be successful, then we should advocate and get the word out that we need to do things in order to be successful and in order to get where we want to get. if our teachers aren't helping us. So my best advice to the students is advocate, start your own clubs, get the word out, and push for your needs. Advocate for your needs, and yeah.
I appreciate that. Young man, Mr. Emerson, we're going to go to you. Like, what advice do you have for other students to because you stayed on track. So what advice do you have for other students?
Yeah, I feel like what I'm about to say is pretty similar to what Stephanie said. Well, just like, like make sure to advocate, like Stephanie said, and just make sure to build those connections. Because that's very important, because you never know who you may bump into. Like as a student, you never know who you may bump into, and that person may be able to help you grow, and you have something that can help them grow, and you guys can grow together, and you guys can branch out and meet more people, build more connections, so you guys have a big group of people that you can engage with that can really like help you grow. Like,
well, Tayshawn, let's stay there then, right? Because I think that you kind of answered that, and I know that you would agree with Stephanie. I want to take it to the next question though. Like, what if you have a friend that kind of fell behind already, and they were like, "Man, I'm behind. I just watched this great FIA video, and now I'm aware, but I'm behind. I'm like 3 classes behind." What's your advice for them?
Well, I'd say just like keep motivated. Just make sure that you make sure to like, how do I say this? Yeah, you just gotta keep staying motivated. Just like keep pushing and like make sure that you take advantage of like the opportunities that you're given. When given.
Well, no, I appreciate. It's all good, man. I appreciate that. Same question to you, Stephanie. Like, look, I see you on top of it. I thought I was, and then I checked my stuff, and I'm behind. I'm 2 classes behind. What should I do, Stephanie?
Well, it's never too late to get back up. Even if the semester ended and you ended up failing that semester, it's never too late to get back up this second semester. You need to demand help. You need to demand help from your teachers and from your admin. You need to advocate for your needs and ask for help. That's the only thing that will help you get back up. You need to get on track, decide what you want, set up your goals, and have devotion and invest in yourself, because you're the only person that is going to be able to make yourself succeed. And you need to ask help and demand for that help, or else you're not going to get it. A dog that doesn't bark doesn't chew. So you need to demand.
Wait, hold on, she hitting us with the with the bars. Wait a second, a dog that doesn't bark. What? Say it one more time for the people.
A dog that doesn't bark doesn't chew. You need to ask for help. You need to demand for help in order to get it.
Listen, man. Well, I feel like that should have been the last statement. We should have just ended it on that. Well, thank you for that. As I queue up the next question for the parents, I just wanted to know if any of the parents had any response to what the students just said.
Absolutely. I feel that you're on the right track. Getting in a partnership with your school is excellent, especially when you take the initiative to map out your path and to continue advocating for yourself. I think about my family before me, and I think about being an educator and just partnering with my students. So one of the things that I know is there's so many teachers that do care, administrators that do care, staff that do care. For all of us to advocate in our own circle of influence, uniting together, we can really make great change. So I'm excited when I see you here participating. I'm hopeful for the future to see all our young people rising up and to sharing their voice and to being a part of the process. Thank you, because it gives us all hope, right? For a great tomorrow.
Well, listen, even though StreamYard and the internet is being haters right now, and I pay Comcast way too much money to have any issues, but it's okay. I'll be a black screen right now just talking. I just think that it's so important to have you all here and to understand it. But here's the thing. Good schools and great schools, kids and parents don't even know about this or worry about it because the school has already handled it. So some of y'all have gone to schools like, again, Vanessa, your kids are where, at Ames? Is that where you're at?
Yes, and they're exceeding the standards. So
it's not even an issue, right? So let me just say for me, and I'm gonna try to do the camera again. If it started tripping, then oh well. But nope, it's already tripping. But I'm gonna say for me, right? Like when I was in school, I had to learn all that stuff on my own. I had to figure it out. And this is when the internet was still kind of new. So it was kind of, you had to do dial up at times because our school wouldn't, spring for the high speed at that moment. And I just had to go figure it out. And I had to go into those counselor's office. I had to fight. I had to get threatened to get suspended if I didn't get my class changed. Like I had to really, really fight in order for my 360 something or 370 something to be, actually a 3.7 so I could go to school. And here's the kicker. I graduated with that good GPA and I was still remedial everything. So we in a system right now, we got school board elections coming up and we have people running not for what they believe in, but for what they don't like. We have people running and saying, I don't want charter schools, right? But I just showed you the numbers of who's graduating in those schools. And if you look at those numbers and people say, and I'm not even a charter school advocate, I truly don't care where you send your kid. It ain't none of my business. It ain't. That's your family. That's your business. That's your babies. That's your money. But I don't understand like all that angst and hostility towards systems that actually, there's a lot of kids in that charter system that don't have to worry about A through G. And there's a lot of kids in our traditional system that go to like a CPA, that they're not worried about it either. So people out there, we need you to take a moment to sign our petition. Is bit.ly, all lowercase / dump the D. And the reason why is because we're going to put pressure on our leadership. Because if we can change this in Oakland, we can change this in California. Here's the thing. This isn't one of those super daunting, super crazy, I need a bunch of money issues to fix. This is some small tweaks and changes that could actually make a big deal. And even if the school can't change it, what they can do is say, Mia, your baby's behind. Your baby got a D in this class and she's not eligible for college right now. We got to do something about this. But we're not even doing that. You know what we're doing instead? We writing op-eds and bragging on a raised and increased graduation rate that won't mean a damn thing if I can't go to the next level with it. So sorry, I didn't mean to get passionate like that, but why do we have to fight so hard if you black or you brown in a place that's the home of the Black Panthers, man? Why? Go ahead, Stephanie. You leaned in. I'm ready for it.
Yes, I agree. I feel like the percentage of from school to prison pipeline is higher than the percentage of students going to college. And I see one of the comments here that said that these students need guidance, and that is very true because these students need adults to lead them. I used to be clueless myself, and I started surrounding myself with adults that actually cared. So as parents and as adults, you need to look for the right people that are going to help your kids and guide them. Look for the right people that have good intentions and good goals for your students, people that are going to help your students be successful at school.
Yes.
Because it's very difficult as a parent to be doing everything at once, being a parent, having a job. So you need those teachers to be there and to be able to help your kids, to be able to do their job and help your kids get where they want to be. So it is true. Students need guidance. So that's why I think it's the parents' duty to vote for people that will help your kids be successful.
That's what's up, man. I mean, does anybody else want to chime in there? I mean, because again, we are coming up on a very, very important election. All right. It ain't time to play games. When you are thinking about the candidates that you want to vote for, you should ask them real questions. And one of their questions should be, one, ask them if they are aware of the A through G rates. And don't just settle for, well, it's funding, it's this, it's that, because there's a lot of schools that got the same amount of money that's making this thing happen. This is an issue of will. This is an issue of will. And the reason I say that is because if it wasn't about increased graduation rates for Black and brown kids, while the A through G completion rates are in the dumps. All right. So I want to and just go ahead and jump in, anybody, man. We just having a conversation now. We just vibing now. Mia, what's your thoughts?
So I just wanted to say this right quick. You know how how I was saying about how can we get more parents involved? So I'm gonna just say this little story right quick. Like I said, I've been with Cox Academy for over 18 years. My kids are grown now, but we have the last edition that he just graduated from Cox. When he went to kindergarten, I volunteered the whole time. I wasn't working. I volunteered. I was there with him, and I just wasn't in his class. I was in different classes. I was helping these students. And a lot of parents, I had negative towards me. Parents didn't like me. They were like, why is she in here? Blah, blah, blah. And what made me feel so good is that teachers, talk to these parents. It's like, well, she's been in here from 8:30 till 2 o'clock helping your kids with their helping them in class. And I want to tear up a little bit. So my son now goes to Elmhurst. So through his years at Cox Academy, where students will go be partners, like going to, different classes and they help students. My 11-year-old loved it. And a lot of people spoke highly of him. He helped kids. And he did it from his heart. He didn't do it because he was at school and he needed to. He did it because he wanted to. And it made me feel good because I think that he saw what I did. My mama's here in my class. Look at my mama helping that student. Look at my mama helping this child. And he saw that, and now he was doing that. And now that he's at Elmhurst, and whenever they do get to be in school, I hope he continues to do that, to help students in his class. Because now that he's in junior high, I hope that he continues to help them students that's going to need the help. So I hope he keeps that going and going. So that's what I just wanted to say. So, when kids see that gives them that power, like, oh, they see somebody doing, I could do that too. I could help. I could help these students. I could help, my classmate. He was going in kindergarten class helping kids. He that was him. That's what he was doing. And he did it from his heart. So I just wanted to say that.
I don't think that I should have had to fight as hard as I had to fight. And I did it by myself. I mean, my parents did the best they could. My parents didn't know about A through G and none of that stuff. I had to go do that. Like I did as a student, I did that, right? Like by myself. It wasn't some adults that helped me. Actually, I was fighting all the adults around me, so to speak, to make that happen. You know what I mean? So I just wanted to, anybody else that just got some strong feelings about this, because there's a lot of people out there that don't think that they got power. There's a lot of people out there that don't think that their voice makes a difference, that it matters or whatnot. And I want y'all to continue to have this conversation. I'm going to try to reload because this is stupid and it shouldn't be happening to me right now. But I'm going to reload. If anything happens, the four of y'all will still be on here. But keep this talking because I need you all to let people know. One of y'all got 5 kids. One of y'all got 7. You understand? So like that's 12 kids. Y'all got a football team and a sub. Check. So between y'all, I need y'all to like get people motivated because it's gonna take parents, it's gonna take students that's willing to fight that fight. And students, y'all can jump into this conversation too. I'm gonna be right back as I try to just reload real quick.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I want to encourage all the families out there, or even if you don't have children and maybe your children have graduated from school, maybe you're an auntie, maybe you're an uncle, maybe you have a child in your life, but you can advocate for children in our communities because people get out there and they're voting, but they don't always reflect the demographic that's in the school. We shouldn't have to wait for anybody to make decisions for us. We can make our decisions by unifying, by sharing our voice, and by partnering with our schools and empowering our families. Not long ago, a lady came to me and she told me in Spanish, maestras, teacher, I'm ashamed because I don't know how to read. And she was from another country where she didn't have the opportunity to go to school. So I shared with her resources in the community and it encouraged her that no matter what, she can advocate for her child. She can be a voice. She can lend her heart and her passion. So whatever you're feeling right now, I encourage you, share the stream. Also, like Dr. Cole was saying, Charles was saying, show up on election day. Even if you have to have a voting party, we have parties for everything else. Register to vote and vote all the way down the ballot. A lot of times we're just voting for one or two candidates, but really vote all the way down the ballot and get to know the candidates that have the power over the schools, and ask them the right questions like we were talking about today. And what I think is, and what I believe is, what we want for our children, we should want for all children and families. Especially my sister here has how many, 6 or 7? I have 5. Families have the best decisions, and we know what's best for our children. You have 5 or 6 children, they're all different. And I have 5 very different children. And for my choice and my family, I love Ames because it's K to 12. But for children that are in other schools, you can share your voice and you can ask questions and you can demand accountability for families that may not have anyone to advocate for them and help them be empowered. That's what I want to say. Thank you. Yes, so all the babies. Yeah, go ahead.
I can't hear Charles. I was asking, does anybody else hear him?
Yeah, I'm good, right? I had the mic muted. You can hear me now. I said okay. I'm very upset that all I had to do is reload, and it's annoying. But the point is, the devil's alive, but it's all good. I want to here's the thing. At Families in Action and Energy Converters, all of this is about giving power back to you all. Nobody is coming to save us. You understand? This ain't a new issue. Right. I don't care what new excuse they give you. It's not a new issue. Charters wasn't the reason I had the type of educational experience that I had. It wasn't even around at the time when I went to Hawthorne, Lafayette, Westlake, all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't fall for the okie doke. Pick what you want to pick. I don't care about traditional schools. I don't care about charter schools or private schools. I care about people. Like, these are our children. These are our babies. And so, young people, I want to hear from you, because oftentimes people don't listen to you. And right now you got a bullhorn and a megaphone. So what do you have to say? And what do you want young people and older people as well to take away from this conversation, from our collective work, to make sure that all students and all families get heard, regardless of the type of school they go into? Right now is your moment. Talk to me.
I think the way parents.
Well, I was talking to the babies, but let the babies go. See, I know what it is. It's because you got 7 kids and you just be ready. You like, I got to get it in right now. And let me just tell y'all, I'm so glad that the Lord blessed y'all with all them kids. I just get anxiety when you say the number, but that's just me personally. But no, I'm teasing you, man. But young people, tell me, talk to me. What do you want people to know?
Well, I think that what Ms. Odin was saying was very true. We need these parents to advocate for us as students, because we're not able to vote yet. We need these parents to advocate for us so that the superintendents and the representatives in our district advocate for us and our needs as well. I feel like when voting for a candidate, we need to demand our needs and advocate for what we need. And things like funding and giving kids a good education should be expected. Those are the bare necessities. We should expect that coming from them, them wanting the kids to have a good education and getting the tools that they need to be successful in school. Those are the bare necessities. And as parents, you guys should advocate for the students and our needs, like Ms. Odin was saying, and push for that, because you guys are our voice. Yes, we can get involved, we can help, but like Dr. Cole was saying, adults don't really like to listen to youth, and it's really important for our parents to be there supporting our movement as well, because it's affecting us. And the parents being there just shows that we have youth and parents who support the movement and who support our needs. So, yes.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. Yes. Yeah, Tayshawn, did you want to add anything? You don't have to. It's up to you.
Mm-hmm.
I just kind of wanted to add on to what Stephanie said. I was just going to say, I want everybody to just kind of work together for those who are advocating for us to all kind of work together and tell a friend. Just make sure that everybody's on board, to make sure that each and everybody's children and or students are able to get what they need in order to, you know, be more successful as time goes on and as they grow older.
That's what's up, man. I appreciate you all so much. Parents, let me get your final thoughts before I wrap us up. Mia, it is your turn, baby. It is all you. You know what I'm saying? Let me hear from you. And Mia, let me check this out, because you've been ready, right? Because you've been chomping at the bit. I want you to go all the way in, okay? Like, let me give you the damn screen right now.
No, don't do that.
What is your final thought, Mia?
So like I said, I push and I keep pushing, I push harder. So just the right quick thing, like how can we get parents to support our students and stuff? Before all this situation happened, we, me and my parents and coordinate, we are trying to get a theme called the Parents Club at our school. We're trying to get more parents involved in our kids' education. Like, we need parents. We have parents to volunteer, but we need more, not just at our school, but every school in our community. These kids need, they need us. They need us, to help them. Like there's some kids out there that, parents, they can do what they can. We have parents that can't be there because they're at work. So these parents that, like me, and other parents that can volunteer in halftime, we need to be there for these students. We need to be there to help them with their education, what they need. And so like I said, I'm going to keep pushing, and hopefully, we keep doing what we doing too,
I appreciate y'all. I mean, because I used to be like, yo, my parents had a lot going on. They was trying to get clean and all that stuff. But it was only 3 of us. Y'all got 12 between y'all and y'all out there. So I don't even know if I can use that excuse for them no more. So sorry, Mom. Vanessa, you have the final word for the panel before I close us out. Leave us with your thoughts. I mean, you've been bringing it the whole night. So if you got anything left, go ahead and empty that tank.
Thank you for tonight. I'm really thankful to be here tonight and to share the voice of, parent voice. What I want to share with all you guys that are watching is be empowered, and you can be an ambassador in your community. Share the information that you're getting tonight. Ask the questions, register to vote, get a family member to vote, have a voting party, and get involved. The research shows that parent engagement is so key for schools and for our babies. Now that we're in 2020, hindsight is 2020, but here we are with clear vision, and we cannot allow for another year to go past with these rates, right? We can work together, unify, and to desire for all children what we want for ours. That's what I'm doing, and I want you to join me and everyone here to get involved, share your voice, and also have a partnership with your schools, because you're not alone. You have a lot of power, and parents should have the right to choose what's best for their children. So,
well, that's beautiful. I'm gonna close us out, but thank you all so much. Listen, people, first off, I want to give thanks to our leadership team, which is Kimmy, Hasten, Dirk, Priscilla, who's on the team. We have an amazing team. We just had 50 students and parents go through an amazing institute, and they are ready and they're on fire. I'm gonna just leave you with some honesty and some truth. I put that Dr. Cole in there. One, I don't really care about that title, but two, as a reminder, I didn't do this stuff with the Oakland schools that I went to or the public schools that I went to, right? I did it in spite of. I did it having to fight every step of the way. And I usually tell stories about like the handful of teachers that I had that were great, but I had 40 plus that weren't. I had 40 plus that didn't see the value in me. And what I'm saying is I'm not here fighting for no system. I'm not fighting for the traditional system, the charter system, none of that. I got beef and smoke for everybody. I'm here fighting for people. I'm here fighting to make sure that these black and brown babies don't have to fight and scrape the way that I did where I got lucky. People like me are not just a branch off the Oakland tree. We're its reckoning. That's what I'm here about. And that's what these other people are here about. I will have smoke for anybody, for anyone, and anything that tries to stop these parents from looking at the situations that's in front of them. And if you try to get in their way to make the best choice for their child, then we got a real problem. For so long in Oakland, we've been afraid to speak truth to power. For so long, we've been trying to cower, and we've been trying to negotiate with systems that don't give a damn about us. They've shown us. How many decades does it need to be? How many kids do we need to lose? How many times do y'all have to keep bragging about 90% graduation rates, but it's only 40% of them can actually move on to the next level? I'm speaking for myself. I don't want fear to catch any of this heat. I don't want energy converters to catch any of this heat. This is Charles Cole, who grew up in Oakland and lived in shelters and went to a bunch of schools and was often seen as less than. I got called a thug. People told me I was going to end up in jail. There was no love there. So what I'm asking you all to do is you have to fight, because when Black parents and brown parents show up, things change. And when you don't, they continue to manipulate us. They continue to lie to us. I will ride for whatever your decision is as a parent to where you send your kids, but I'll be damned if you, somebody that's not from my community or that don't look like me, has anything to say about where these kids should go. With that being said, you all, thank you so much for being a great panel. Sorry for the technical difficulties, but the truth will still shine through. For Stephanie, Mia, Tayshawn, Vanessa, I am Dr. Charles Cole III, and we will see you all next time. Peace.